But yeah, now we get Paramirrors, which when's Dahlia? You're down bad, man.
I'm just saying, I only got a couple more hours of today left.
But yeah, Paramirrors. Fun.
One of them better be Japanese.
Salty
If
Para.
it's two English paras, I have to mute this. Oh, thank God.
Okay, we are looking at right. Oh no! We autopiloted into the shot. We gotta convert. Converted.
I can't tell what umbrella assist we're running.
This is good zoning. I am not seeing very much debt, which comes out a little faster. Do they have these? They don't. So if you think they're gonna try and go for a shot to trade with your shot, debt catches them there, and then you can always just DHC into Annie if you want to snipe into conversion. Also, like there, when you see the get down Mr. President man coming out, debt doesn't care because it's not technically a projectile flying through the screen. Good PVGC. Snap. Get the corner. No. We're blocking. Actually, I want to look at this again. You might have been able to press a button and just land on double here, get the counter hit. I don't think the retina lens would have hit you, but it is what it is. I would have really liked for us to run all the way under and get the corner. Shadow is a really flexible assist that lets you do that. We're blocking. Oh, we DP through it. Nice. We could have gotten Umbrella supered for that, though. So while DPing through double super is a nice flashy thing to do, it's not always going to be the right choice because of how DHCs work in this game. Oh no, we could have punished that. Oh, we're doing the Oddberry setup. We didn't need to do all of this. We had 5 bar.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've been sitting on 5 bar for a very long time. Nope is right. She earned it. Yeah.
Oh my... What?
Is this another game where Yin just wins the zoning war?
Tossing is really sketchy to do the second any character is mid-screen. Like, or mid-screen distance from you. Any DP saving the day.
I'm just curious, we keep getting all these zoning hits, but we not use M Shadow to convert into something more.
I mean...
Like we're still calling Annie. I'm not familiar with Para enough to say if that's right or wrong, but...
I don't have a good thing in mind. It can let you confirm mid-screen-ish, but I don't think I've necessarily seen any really good confirm though there. Para's got
I
long
just feel like
legs.
it's the better assist to be calling than just with Annie DP, you know?
Yeah, especially in neutral, 100% I agree. Once they're a little bit closer, any DP I agree with. Oh, but now we're over Alliance and any DP got slapped.
That's an unlucky.
Yeah, that's not an option. I don't know what you were thinking you'd beat with that, but the answer was nothing. There's like absolutely nothing double could have done there that would have won.
Giving any DP instead of Fuku by accident. Yeah, the only reason why I bring it up is just because they're coming at like completely wild times where they wouldn't hit even if they did jump into it, you know? Like
Let's give Annie a hug. Oh, did we think Annie was gonna hit there? You push blocks too early, I saw that. Oh, I like that. That's a different version of what I do. Getting schmixed. Pillar. We didn't need to DHC there. I think we were safe at that range. You might have been able to get jabbed, but it was close. And I understand wanting to just get out. But funnily enough, you could have been punished for that beam super as well. Why are they mixing? Oh no. We could have just picked up OTG and double snapped. Yeah, after Fireball super hits, if you have the corner, stand medium kick should pick up both of them, and then you can just snap. Rather than going into bikes, which is not going to hit both of them, because bikes is dumb.
I feel like, so last game was Yi and this game Swergen, where they just hold meter. So Swergen had that corner touch like 9 times and just kept mixing with 5 bar that they could have spent. I'm not sure who's asking for a review, but whoever
Randomrock.
it is, keep it in mind.
Yeah. So, I understand this was a misinput, but this is not the time for you to be going for a shot regardless. This tier is going to stop right in front of you, and probably would have been close enough to detonate and explode on you. Just things to be looking out for in the mirror. So we're trying to get the tiers off of us, but we're not. It doesn't look like we're comfy with it. So like here you could have actually deaded. Oh, you did it late. Oh, we autopilot into zoning a lot. That's the second or third time. Good low profile. We've seen Bike Guy hit and then not actually go into anything because he went into a shot or toss after. Oh, you should have been dead. Good alpha counter, but it's not a good situation to be in. Fancy. Good anti-air. The buttons. Ugh. Go under the tiers, yes.
Every time people say this umbrella assist is good, I just see it dealt with so easily.
Really good job of voting the tier. She's in the corner. You gotta do something with this. That is not the option. No, we worked so hard to corral her into the corner.
Ooh. You could have let it rip. Like once you decided to do it, you could have let it rip into install, and it would have actually been plus. Um,
Oh, yeah.
just save yourself. I don't like the decision to H knuckle at all, but if you're gonna commit to it, install.
Yeah, there's all that. So you did a good job getting close, and then it looked kind of like you didn't know how to finally approach her, which understandable. Parasol buttons are definitely intimidating for Annie to deal with. Your 5 medium punch is one of your best bets to try and catch her doing something. Um, that or stingering a shot. I'm pretty sure you can do either on reaction. Especially when you have the corner like that, because then you should be able to just get the conversion.
I also personally like L fireball a lot in the matchup. I believe it's L to. It's more frame advantage when you want to like block shots and approach than doing H or M because of the less startup and recovery.
Yep. I do like your use of sweep to get through the zoning though. Pair really kind of struggles to deal with that. There we go. Good confirm.
Oh, that was sick.
Yeah, they were too high because you did the 4 heavy kick, 4 medium, or 2 medium kick launcher, or whatever. You gotta be aware of how high they are when you're doing those routes, which is one of the reasons I dislike them. Schmixed. Push blocked and got hit, but wasn't even on PBTC. Did we not want to just spend? I guess not. Getting greedy, but that's not a block string.
Yeah, Umbrella's been knowledge checking everyone every time I see her.
Well, I was talking about the Fuqua Raw 5 heavy kick.
Okay. Look, what is that? I'm not blocking that in a million years.
Bad.
I didn't even know she can do that.
The one thing that consistently drives me up a wall playing versus Umbi is she can land cancel her jump heavy punch into specials.
Yep. I call it the moose. Amount of times I've been hit by JHP into slurp. Oh no.
I feel like we're a little too reliant on Annie DP. We're calling it and it's getting caught before it actually gets to save us. Yeah, so what is it? Here, you're not fighting yourself out of that position. You kind of just need to block everything and push block the parasol away. It sucks, and they usually can get another tier on you, especially if they toss there, but it gets them off of you and prevents you from actually getting hit. Whereas now they were in their jab and stand heavy punch range and were able to dash in further for confirm, and now your character's just dead. Got the corner. Oh no. Oh, you could have 2 heavy punched there, but hindsight is 20/20. I probably would have done the exact same thing. Chip her out. Pick up. Oh no. But they're not blocking.
Let's go. Good setup.
We're doing block string and L bomb or L shadow a lot, and that's not real a lot of the time.
Oh no, DP got grabbed.
Oh
Good
my
double
god.
jump.
We do not have the life lead. Keep it safe. Why are they not shooting
Oh
you? That.
no.
So you've got the life lead now. You can. Oh my.
That's so sad. This is so sad.
Spaghetti? No. Oh no. A little bit
Minute
too
on the
much
crouch
panic.
heavy punch.
Stand heavy.
I don't think the crouch heavy punch itself was a bad idea. They did double jump just before. Like it's a tough call between crouch heavy punch and stand heavy punch, but I do think the fireball is troll.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although I guess you really could have full sent it with the drill super after if you wanted to. Yeah, so I definitely want to see you implement tiered debt into your zoning more. It is a really strong tool, especially in this mirror, where the projectiles go away if she gets hit. Oh, that was so lucky. Good blocks. Get her off you. Push block her off if you please. Like, it's hard, especially with an assist like Bomber, but if she's giving you an opportunity to push block her away, get this character off of you. Because while her neutral is scary, she has some of the best high-lows in the game if you let her be close enough to use them. Oh, we messed that up. I'm pretty sure we could have confirmed either of those with stand heavy punch afterwards. Tick throw. Kinda scuffed, but we salvaged it. Oh no. Yeah, no, when you're at that range, you can just 2 medium punch, L shot, sweep, L shot. Just try and stay in a nice little sweet spot. Force them to push block you out. You can try and dash up and high-low them, but it's risky. Oh no.
We have these? No.
Boy. So, I will say one thing. I've noticed your Kua zoning seems to be a little bit off. You tend to throw your darts behind them a whole lot more than I would like to see. And I can understand getting a couple of reads wrong, but I heavily encourage, if your intent is to zone, to throw with the intention of cutting off their approach rather than throw with the intention of hitting them. Because here you just threw an H dart well above anyone's head, and it did absolutely nothing for you besides lose you time in the air.
I also think it's very jumpy.
Oh yeah.
I think Fuqua wants to be not grounded necessarily, but have her ground options available, right? Like, I haven't seen many TK fireballs. I've seen a lot of full jump fireballs, right?
Yeah.
Which have then got you caught by umbrella assist, force you into a scramble if your JHK JLP misses, something like that.
Oh my god, Umbrella, are you serious? I'm mad for you. That's some shenanigans. You could have fireballed there. It gives you a little bit more time to set up an incoming. It doesn't matter all that much. It might give less meter, I'm not actually sure. Oh no. No! You can't do that. I know you wanted to get red health and save the life lead, but you didn't have the space to do that. Yeah, especially for as much as you're using toss, you don't det at all. Yeah, they got through. Very brave to color there, but hey, it worked. Oh no. Frame trap with the tier. That's so dirty. Oh no.
Sorry about that. That was Chinese food.
Oh. I don't know if that was an intentional push block bait, but that was sick. I know none of that was an intentional, but I love that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Zone the child. Force her to spend meter. Oh, we tried. I did not realize those bubbles did that much damage. What? You got so lucky there. Yeah, you need to be careful about when you're push blocking in the air because good players will time an air throw after your push block is up.
It's a good thing to use every now and then, but it gives them a lot of options, and we just let it rip. Let's go.
Yep.
But yeah, push blocking in the air is a good tool, but it's not. It shouldn't be the only defensive option. I haven't caught how many times you've been using it. But it's good to be aware.
Neutral. Alright, did you do... So actually, a thing to think about. Bike Guy covers the same area of the ground as L-Shot does. And you seem to opt, honestly also very similar to me, to use a lot more L-Shots than M-Shots. But especially after you've done Bike Guy, I highly encourage you to use M-Shot because oftentimes people try and jump over it. Sometimes they'll try and hit it. If they're trying to hit it, they already have a tier there, so you can just det them. And that's where zoning becomes a lot more interactive and reactive. But as a default option, and this is like preaching the word of LD, if you do L or H shot, your next general the rule of thumb is your next shot should probably be an M shot, because they just went, oh, they're shooting vertical projectiles, I need to get above them, and then you catch them jumping with M shot. It's just that sort of deal. And you did it, you just did it late. But yeah, you opt for a lot more L shot than toss, and there aren't as many 8 shots. Very good to medium punch. Snipe? Oh, you didn't need to snipe there. Wow, I'm surprised. The conversion after got kind of gimped, but... There we go. That's like the second or third time I've seen you use det. What is that incoming? We're just not blocking? None of those hits were... None of those hits had indicators. That one did. Umbi at 6 HP as an assist is a mid. You do not need to block it high. You didn't need a DHC there. Pretty sure Annie could have converted there normally, and either way you needed to go into BFF if you wanted to be able to convert. How did we even get hit? Oh, just... Burst.
What the hell am I listening to?
Good blocks. Good boy. We didn't believe, but... Oh my... Murder. Oh, we went for fancy stuff. What? Okay, so... One thing I want to say is... You have the corner a lot, and then you go into her command throw. While her normal throw isn't anywhere near as good, it lets you keep the corner. So it's not an awful tool for you to be considering in those situations. Because people kind of
something JP tells me he considers. Close to corner, it's normal throw. Far from corner, it's other one.
Yeah, keeping the corner is just really important in this game. And especially because you need to spend meter to convert from throwing them out of the corner. It's just... That's such a massive loss of resources for one command throw that already has you scaled really hard. And that's, again, not to say never use it, it's just definitely try and implement normal throw a lot more into your game plan. Did we have OTG? No, okay. Actually, wait, can she still do Stinger into Bimu on lights without OTG?
Depends on the setup.
Okay.
She can't just do it.
Yeah.
She needs OTG if she just wants to do it, but she can route into it.
Okay. I don't know how to tell you if that route was actually doable there or not.
There was probably a more optimal way of doing XYZ, but...
Unfortunate. Very close.
We didn't know it.
So when you're at... Okay, you're using 2 medium punch. It's just a little slower.
So, as a Parasol player, can you explain why they're starting to lose this zoning war when the first 2-3 games they were winning it pretty solidly?
They're honestly getting found out. So the point I made earlier about them being much more L shot and then toss, it leaves pretty big open spaces if you're not using M shot, that they're kind of just holding until they have time, then they're dash jumping over the shot and then getting in and forcing their turn. Similar things can happen if they're using 2 medium kick to low profile. It buys a good amount of time and lets them get a shot on you. Other than that, you were doing it for a second here. When you have tiers relatively close to you, 2 medium punch stuffs almost like all in every approach Parasol has outside of like she's jumping or super jumping and landing on you. And those you have a ton more time to react to, so you can choose a different option. Um, Another small thing about using 2 medium punches, it's also useful in a zoning war, because the tiers exploding also count as a projectile, so you can use that to block the shot and then shoot your shot behind it, so their shot gets stationary and you get a shot on them, which you can then threaten to det, just shoot another shot at them, which also threatens to explode it, etc. And so these are a couple more things for you to be considering in the mirror, especially now that your game plan's starting to kind of fall apart. They've figured out how to work through it, because you've been getting kind of predictable. They don't have IPS to pick up off this. Really weird choice. They could have just scaled it. What the hell? That's also not safe. They could have PVGC punished you in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Good tag.
I guess it's technically her safest super.
Yeah, but if someone's close enough, they just push block and stay.
Yeah.
Oh, the classic jab for heavy kick. Good blocks. Honestly, one thing I would like to see a little bit more, this Parasol really likes approaching. If you think they're gonna dash up towards you, command armor throw is a pretty good reversal if you're using it in the right spots. Depending... Oh no, we're getting sniped. Depending on the situation, the throw is a better reversal than drill. So... I'm not going to tell you to be as much of a lunatic as I am when I play Fukua, but experiment in throwing it in different positions, because if someone's just Oonga Boonga running at you and then trying to high-low you, an armored throw just blows them up. Oh no, we didn't respect the assist. Oh, that changed team. Okay.
Okay.
Philia. Let's see how you play this matchup.
Oregon bringing out the Philia is interesting.
Okay. So, versus characters who are not going to like handshake in the zoning battle, H-toss is never really a great option. There are certain scenarios, like if your assist hit them full screen and they won't be able to tech back out, etc. I highly, highly recommend L-toss versus especially rushdown matchups. Having a tier at your feet that on a whim you can 5 medium punch or 2 medium punch is such a good wall versus these characters. Versus Philia and Fortune specifically. Granted, here was just not the time to toss, period. You should have been jabbing. You need to recognize when you have time to be using toss. It's a quick move, but it also provides 0 immediate threat. So if someone's running at you and you toss, they're just eyes like get money signs and they're going to cash in because you just gave them a free hit. It's... Mix. Although they brought you out of the corner, which was really nice of them.
I don't like what's going on here, Philia-wise, but oh my god, M Shadow.
I want to see... Yeah, so again, with this specific route, medium punch for heavy kick, L egret catching them with medium kick into launcher. Do you do both hits? Okay. Especially because you're doing 2 hits of medium kick, I honestly only recommend you ever do 1. But especially because you're doing 2, you need to recognize they're going to be launched at a different height, and it really messes with a lot of stuff Parasol likes to do. So if you're going to be using this route, you need to be aware of how the characters are going to behave afterward the launcher. Zad. Group. So, when she's doing all this dashing around you, it's kind of scary, but just jab.
Button. Yeah, this is all fake.
Especially if they're doing all of the like I'm Philia and I'm like pressing the spacing button, so like they're doing box dash jump medium punch. Parasol doesn't care.
Yeah.
Just jab her.
Yeah, I mean, and you know this, Yin. Like you play the Philia. Like a lot, the Philia is really scary if your opponent is scared of her, and so things like this are just Philia in your head.
Okay, we don't really ever need to be dashing forward versus Philia to get a hit oftentimes, because one, they'll be running your face into you. Two, jab and two light kick are pretty good reaching lights.
I feel that, Yin. It comes and it goes.
It's honestly, I think, more important than almost anything else in this game. One of the most important things to learn is when you need to be afraid and when you're being too afraid. Like,
It's a kill, right?
oh no. That we're just throwing away meter at this point, but we got the boy snap. I think if we had done that differently, we could have made them eat a tier or a dart on incoming and then done fireball super and ship them out if we wanted to guarantee that character is just dead. But yeah, learning how to tell yourself not to be afraid is really important in this game. Because when everything's coming at you at like 100 miles per hour, it's so easy to just go like, mommy, I'm scared, and down back. But if you give your opponents too much respect, that's when Skullgirls players really just get to twerk all over you. Because a lot of the most like disgusting mix or pressure in this game is not DP safe.
Oh yeah, all that stuff is fake.
It's like,
If you ever look at it and your jaw is like ajar, yeah, it's fake.
yeah, and so like it's definitely one of those things, especially versus a character like Squiggly. She's like stand still dancing on you, and you're like, how the hell do I guess? And the answer is you don't need to guess. Mash. And so yeah.
It's a lot of shades of what we were telling Rat earlier. It's you cannot in this game giving your opponent their turn for free is just always wrong. And you should always be take an active role in your game. It's not the easiest. Like I'm saying this from here, it's not the easiest thing to do, but always keep that in mind. Like Sworgan's Philia should not ever be twerking all over your Parasol like that. Especially with only like they ran Annie DP assist and Umbrella 6 HP. There was nothing there to help them approach, right? So it's just being aware, keeping true to your game plan, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Parasol does get clipped, but at the same time, especially in a matchup like Philia, oh no, that's not really true because Parasol's minus on hit for everything. Trades almost never go in your favor. But, just really contesting space with buttons like jab if they're really close, 2 medium punch if they're relatively close and they're not in the air, especially if like they called Annie 6 HP. You don't need to respect it. 2 medium punch will likely hit it. And if you force their point to block 2 medium punch and then you hit 6 HP assist at the same time, it's like, okay, I've kind of just won this interaction. I talked a little bit about L-Toss in that matchup. It's really good.
It's goated.
And this is more of my sort of like chilling my Parasol playstyle, but Stand Heavy Punch is also really good in that matchup, and I don't think I saw you go for it once. And it's definitely one of those things that you need to not be afraid of, and it's really easy to be afraid of because it's a 19 frame startup move. But that thing's massive and swats this character out of the sky. Um, and how much you want to use it is up to you. Again, it's definitely much more my playstyle, and I know a lot of Parasols who don't use the button like at all. But just considering your options. Yeah. And then
Oh.
in general, versus both zoning and versus a rushdown character like Philia, you can be using Det more. I highly recommend you watch players like Hydra and LD. Myself a little bit, but I'd recommend those two a lot. They are really good at zoning and just deading at like the most obnoxious times possible. Um, it's so important in almost all of her zoning, but especially in the mirror matchup. Because again, if you catch them trying to shoot with Det, their tier disappears because Parasol Lamau doesn't get projectiles when she gets hit. But yeah. Those are the main things. Oh, you had asked us to look at the inputs to see why things were getting eaten. I don't necessarily know what to tell you. It's just I am one to blame the user and not the game, because I feel like more often than not it's honestly just input error rather than a game eating something. Not to say the game doesn't eat inputs, but it's much easier to just focus on making yourself consistent rather than just blame the game for every time you drop something silly. It sucks. Misinputs are annoying, but
I was gonna say in regards to your fear of like 5 HP startup getting smoked or just buttons in general getting smoked. I think you should always press your buttons, because if you don't press your buttons, you're not gonna learn the situations where that button will get smoked. You know, like it's by getting counter hit that you'll understand like, oh, at this spacing it's safe to do this. At this is the height that I should anti-air with this.
you should see me do self VoD reviews, because what it boils down to, which is kind of a problem because I start not looking at other things. What it ends up boiling down to is I did this at this range. It was a dumb idea. I need to jab here instead. And that's just where I've focused my attention on my Parasol. So, like, I've used stand heavy punch enough to kind of get comfy with it. And if I don't know if how many good VODs there are of my gameplay anywhere, but if you want to see a Parasol who uses it a lot, I do it. Penny, I know, preached like a lot about that button. She liked using it a lot, but I think finding gameplay from her is gonna be kind of few and far between nowadays. Yeah, those are the Parasol things. We talked a little bit about Kua. You opted into doing air stuff a lot, thinking about where you're throwing your love darts a little bit more, trying to cut off their approach rather than trying to hit them.
Yeah.
And then, especially when you're at a closer to mid range, doing single hop love dart into land shadow. I don't think we saw that a whole lot. We saw it a little bit, but more is always good. And so it really depends on who you ask. I personally think Parasol 2 Heavy Punch is an alright anti-air, and it works in different situations where 5 Heavy Punch doesn't. But I have people like JP and I think Hydra who just say it's a bad button and don't like using it. So it's finicky.
As someone that's only played against it rather than played as it, it just feels very specialized on top of an already specialized anti-air kit, right?
So
because you have to find situations where like L toss plus button or crouch medium punch or stand heavy punch aren't better, and I think from that point it's few and far between.
Yeah. The main use cases I have for it are when people are, and this is for me, getting way too used to using 5 heavy punch, and so they're trying to float just above where it is because 2 heavy punch hits higher. So like Juice or other Philias will go, okay, I'm gonna stay out of his airspace until after I see this button, and so they'll like do L hairball upwards and try and avoid 5 heavy punch, and then 2 heavy punch just clips their toes. And I don't really get a really nice confirm. Sometimes I don't get a confirm at all. That's the other downside to 2 heavy punch, is sometimes they're just too high for you to convert. But versus especially characters like Eliza, I really like using it, as well as 5 heavy punch. Both those buttons are pretty good in that matchup until they start landing on you a skeleton, and then you kind of just cry. But that's the nature of that matchup.
Cycling back to Fuqua real quick, because I had to go get Chinese food. I wanted to say one thing that I think is really dope about Fuqua is how much space control she's able to have with that fireball. Because even though it looks puny, it covers like a really good arc. But she actually doesn't really have great options from the air, right? Like she's pretty much stuck, and she has her double jump, which is nice, but her options from the air aren't crazy. She has JLP, which is good when you're equal or a little bit above her, and she has JHK, which is good when you're slightly below her, but not a great like downwards hitbox. If you're in like full jump, double jump height. So being grounded and then having access to those TK darts, to those like medium height darts, but still like near enough the ground where crouch medium punch is a threat, crouch heavy punch is a threat, having access to her backdash being her best backwards mobility, is really cool. So like there were some moments where you trying to make your comeback and your darts are really good, they're hitting the opponent, but moving forward you'd constantly like sort of bunny hop forward, which would get you clipped by like umbrella assist, fall into a button, things like that, get air grabbed. I think trying to be a little bit more grounded, or closer to the ground rather than so high up in the air, committing so many of your resources in the air, will then help you make those sort of comebacks a little bit easier, because they won't have a read on your movement necessarily.
And well, I can't remember if you mentioned this or not. One thing I did see as well is not only were you like jumping and doing jumping zoning, you often double jumped before you threw a ball, which
Yeah.
it's not great. It doesn't do much for you. It kind of just makes you spend more time in the air and you can't do anything.
My Yosuke days. Oh no.
But yeah, I don't think I had too many comments on your Annie. You did a good job avoiding the zoning of the soul, and then kind of just struggled to open her up. You can ping me, honestly, or if you want Dry's opinion on how to play the matchup, because they're obviously a much better Annie than I am. Definitely good people to ask about that matchup. It's not fun, but I don't think it's actually as bad for Annie as people would lead you to believe. It's just tedious as hell. But yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say, and I don't want to keep Juice from his food any longer.
Don't worry, Dahlia came out, so
Oh my god.
we'll be eating for a little while. You know, it is what it is.
But yeah, I think, unless you have any other questions, I'll be shutting down the stream.